Hey y'all, welcome back to Euclid Mining. You know, I've been giving a lot of thought to this video. I'm going to put together this $1 million mining rig, and I'll tell you, if you had asked me 1 year ago today, would I be sitting here today with you doing something like this, and I wouldn't even have known what you're talking about. You might as well have been speaking Chinese to me. And now I'm putting together a computer or a mining rig that, you know, is going to be a lot of fun. I think that accepting this challenge is, you know, something that I needed. I've been working hard on so many different projects and getting everything up and running and juggling and balancing and figuring out power and placement of, you know, computers where I could put one in the bedroom, I could put one in here, I got some downstairs. I mean, it's, you know, now that I have the power to do things that I want to do, I can move more freely as I try them. And this is something that I could easily take on. And just as I've accomplished so much to where I am now, I think. And this is to me is sort of like the treat. This is the vacation. Is getting to build this. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope the lighting and everything is okay. The sound, but it's what I got going on right now for recording and such. So I just got a second webcam, so I might use both today. But bear with me, y'all. So let me switch cameras. Let's do it over here. Boom. So what you see here is a frame that I bought. I got this for $50 on eBay, maybe $55. I forget exactly. But it's just a standard frame. Now this one is an 8 GPU frame. And I'll tell you more as we go forward why I got an 8 rather than a 6, because considering I only need 5 cards, I still went with the 8 for a couple reasons, but we'll get into that. The board and the processor I had from before, so that I am going to utilize in this project. You know, already have the frame built. I know I usually show my projects from start to finish all the way through. I got to be honest, I got a little excited, and I started putting it together, and then I got to this point and I was like, oh no, I want to do a video. So anyway, I've got the board, so let me go ahead and stand this up so you can see what I got. And let's go this way. So there you go. It's the ASRock H81 Pro BTC. It's got the 6 GPUs slots. 6. It's got 1 main. It's got 2 secondary power. It's got the regular motherboard secondary power, or I guess these are to power for over the riser. This is secondary power over here for the motherboard, and then of course the ATX in the back. Now, let's talk about power. So what I'm going to use in this build is the one that I always like to use. I am starting to look towards getting the 1200 watt power supplies and coupling that together where I could put a couple GPUs on here and say the motherboard, and then the 1200 can run the majority of the rest of the GPUs. So I'm figuring that out. I'm trying to talk to Parallel Miner to get more information on that idea. Right now I'm using 2 750 watt HP server power supplies. So I got 2 of them. They're identical. You can see them from Parallel Miner. You know that I like Parallel Miner a lot. Good guys. I was actually messaging one about a cable, and I'm glad I got that back before we started this video, because there were some mistakes that I had made, several of them already, and I'm going to show you my mistakes on the breakout board. So the breakout boards that I'm using are, I got the other one right over here, is the standard breakout board that they offer. Has voltage meter on it. And this wire here is that once you plug this into the slot here, and then you take your other breakout board and put it into this one, you can daisy chain them together like this, and then that way when you hit the power on this one, it'll power up this unit as well. It does nothing else except send a signal telling it that you're sharing something. And for this instance, it would be the power. So that's what this cable's for. But this is just a regular standard breakout board. Now, the breakout board that I'm using with this one is one that comes from Parallel Miner. It's an amazing breakout board. And I'll put a link in the description below where you can get onto there. I do not have an affiliate link. Excuse me. I just think they're a great company, and they got a lot of great products, and they're sold out a lot of the power supplies, but they do have a notice up that they're going to be getting more in shortly, so at the time of this video at least. So check them out. You always got to keep checking back in. They always have great deals. Their prices, anyway, this is for your ATX. This one right here is a Molex, and from here you can come out. They give you a wire when you buy this kit, and it has two ends. It has another Molex and one SATA, so you can plug in your hard drive with that. I don't have that cable. I burnt that cable out because I thought I could daisy chain an extension for my risers off of that and plug in. And what I found was that this doesn't provide enough power coming out of this one, because it's meant for a hard drive or like a CD-ROM or something like that. So it doesn't put out as much power as you think that you would need. You'd have to plug into this to the riser in order for that to work. Otherwise, and I have one of those wires over here. So this one, if you were doing Molex, you could go to your breakout board and then go to your riser, but I'll even talk about that a little bit and why I don't do that, and that these are really for secondary power on the board if I go into this part of the breakout board, whereas this has less power coming out of it, so it's made for the hard drive and such. So this one will go like this onto the board when I do this setup. But anyway, I've got all my wires, and so that's my breakout boards. That are those are the power supplies. You got the motherboard, the 8 gigs of RAM. I forget what I have in here. When we fire this up, we'll see it. I think this is the Intel. I think the other one is the AMD. Anyway, regardless, the chip that I have in here does give the video ability on the onboard, so that's super cool. So if I did need to check something on the board because the cards weren't responding somehow, I could look at the BIOS still by plugging directly into it. And I bought this specifically for that because I like to have that secondary option. So whatever. Now we come to the, the stars of the show. And I'll drop that down here for you. So that is the 3060 Ti LHR version now. These are LHR. So, and you say, hey, what are you talking about LHR? Why would you do that? Well, we're going to talk more about that, and I did in my last video. We're going to talk a little more, but here we go, guys. So we've got 4 of these right here, and we're going to be putting them in here. So let's put them down here. I've already taken them out of the box, and I've got them, if you notice, lined up over here, and I will show you that as well. That is the card. So it's got the back plate. It's got the 8-pin connectors. And let me try to grab this without touching that. So that's it. There you go. 3060 Ti. And over here, I don't know if you can see them all. 1, 2, 3. And there is number 4. And they're going to be finding a home over here. So now let's talk about risers. So what I got, let me take these apart real quick. So I went ahead and I bought some new risers. So as you can see, these risers here, they come with the Molex. They come with the 6-pin on top, and they come with a 6-pin in the back where the USB is also. Now, Molex itself, the wire can carry the power, but the problem that you have when you connect these together is the little metal clips that slip over this. If they're not rated for high enough power, you're going to burn out, right? If it doesn't have the right, if the metal that's used in there is cheap metal and it's not rated for the higher power, it's going to burn out. And that's why Molex is not good to power your risers. Then if you talk about the SATA, you run into the same situation. SATA can't carry enough power to power a riser properly. If the card demands more, the riser will not be able to perform. So SATA is also not the correct way. The correct way is to go from your 6-pin right there and get in with that one. So we're going to look at that. Then let's just see here real quick. All right. I'm just closing the blinds a little bit because there's a glare. I'm sorry that the picture is not the best, y'all. I just have the one camera over here. I'm trying to, in the lighting, and I just moved the desk. If you saw one of my videos, I moved everything around, so it's kind of crazy right now. But anyway, so we got the power supplies. We're going to put them over here for now, and we're going to talk about the wire here. So I have, of course, you're all going to know that, USB, and that goes onto the board. Like that. So that just slides right into the slot. So that is that. Now we're going to talk about the wiring. So what I did for power on this, what we're going to do is we're going to take the breakout board, and I got this from Parallel Miner. When I bought my power supplies, they gave you an option if you want some cables. Of course, I went ahead and got the cables, and the cables are two ends. One has a 6-pin and one has a 6+2 pin. So what I do with this is that I use it just as an extension. And then what I bought was a splitter. Okay, so it's got two 8 pins or 6+2 on both there, and then it has just a 6-pin on this side. So what I do is I take the which either end you want, but I did the 6+2 on this side and put that together to connect it. Now I've got that split. What I'm going to do here is that I'm going to go ahead and take 2 of the pins off, so it's not going to be an 8-pin. I can make it into a 6-pin. I'm going to take that and I'm going to drop it right inside that riser. Now this has got the proper power to power this riser. This power can more than handle anything that this riser is going to throw at it, because its max capacity will not exceed what this wire and connection can do for this. So this is what you should be doing. And I want to do a longer video on that. But what I also got was 4, I think these are, what are they, capacitors? What I did was, I looked at some of the other ones that I've had, and, they have 3, some have 2, the older ones. And I started seeing these, and then I started seeing them online. They're going for up to 6 on one card. And this one, with the 4, I figured it was an upgrade from where I was at, which were 3. And I thought, I started looking at the ones with 6, and I didn't have the money to do that. And I'll be honest, my other rig in the other room had the SATA connections on it. And that went into a Molex. So you can imagine that I needed to change out all of my risers. I needed to do for all of my GPUs. Every one of them had to be done. And at the price point to get the one with the 6 on there was going to be way above my price range at the time. So I went ahead and got the one with 4. I think that is more than reasonable for what I'm doing. And so I upgraded. So it was nice to upgrade that, and it gave me peace of mind that now it's not going to burn that one out. And same with this one. So that's what we have here. So on this one here, we'll have the riser. I'll just kind of dummy this down here. I'll show you, got that right here. We will have the wire go into the breakout board. This goes like sitting here, and then this will go inside of the video card. And that's how we're going to power that. So I went ahead and I've already set a bunch of these up. and I've got them all ready to go. As you can see, again, sorry for the noise. I got the USB hooked up. I got the 6 pin, so this is the 6+2, and I just disconnected the 2, and I put it here, and then this one is going to go into the GPU. So that is number 2, and this one I'll plug in here. All right, here is number 3, and lucky number 4. Come on down. Uh-oh, he's grabbing me. He doesn't want to go in. You're going, buddy. All right, let's talk about power. Buddy, how are you going to power the motherboard? Glad you asked. All right, Parallel Miner. Once again, when you buy this breakout board, right? Am I showing that to you? There you go, that one. Or I'm going to show you over here. When you buy this breakout board, it's got the connection right there for the ATX. So what you're going to do, let's move that to there so you can see it. They're going to give you this wire. On one end, this end here, this is going to go into the breakout board. And on the other end, there's 2 wires. One that obviously you're all familiar with, and you're going to go ahead and plug this into the motherboard. And this one, I'm going to bring them over here so I can show you, so you know that one. That's the regular ATX. And then this one has an 8-pin, but it's a 2+2. So you've got 2 4-pins. So if your motherboard requires a 4-pin, or like the one I'm using, it requires an 8-pin. So there we go. So this goes into your motherboard, primary, secondary, and then you remember those other wires that we had over here. And this one is going to be for the, I don't know what they call that, I guess the 3rd and the 4th. So like I said, on the side of the board here and here are 2 Molex connections, and then that also will go into the board, and that'll power the board itself. So as you can see, we've got power under control. We've got the breakout boards. They're going to be daisy chained together. I think we're in good shape. So let's see how we're going to start putting this down. So let's go ahead and just grab this one right here and start building. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it right into there. There's a slot, and all I'm going to do is just take that and put it into the slot and give it a little help. And there it is. It is in. So for everybody that likes to watch that window. So let's see where we're going to put this one. So this one's going to have the ATX on it. So I'm going to put it on this side. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that right there. Now, as you can see, if I bring that right up front, so it's kind of even with the frame, if I put even with that little handle thing there, that'd be interesting to take that off. But even if I put that right there, the board does stick off, okay? I'll give it to you. We talked about that in one of the other videos. You know, like I said, for this Jeep, for this power supply, I appreciate the HP power supply because, like I said, it's meant to run every day, all day, 24 hours a day, all year long. And, you know, other power supplies, some of them are meant that can do that, and some aren't meant to do that. They're meant to be just used casually. So if you buy a cheap power supply because you just want to get up and running and then you're mining with it, and you fall into the problems that I had where I'm burning out wires and I could have potentially, you know, burnt out cords, and I was stupid enough to continue to use it and just move wires over and just, you know, hope for the best. I've learned my lesson by luck with that one. So this thing is meant to run all the time. So I'll tell you what, this thing's sticking out another 4 inches, okay, right here, for something that's meant to do what this is supposed to do. I'll take it. I'll take it. So let's go ahead and grab this one. So this breakout board is going to go on this side, but what I want to do is I want to go ahead and hook this up real quick. So let's go ahead and flip that around. So again, what we've done is that we've hooked them together. So now when I press the power button here, this one will turn on also. And then if I press the power button here, then they would turn off. Or I could turn them on here and turn them off here. Either way, any way you want to do it, that's yours. So let's go ahead and get this power supply and give it a little help and get that one right in there. Pretty easy. So we're going to put this over here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to slide down a little bit so you can see the whole thing. Or better yet, maybe I'll just take my ugly mug off the screen. You know, and I know I'm not part of the Beautiful People Club, but, you know, whoa. We're not there. All right, let me get off the screen here so you guys can see all the good stuff. All right. So let's bring that back a little bit. Maybe that's a little better. So anyway, now this breakout board barely sticks off the edge. If you can see that, it just comes off the back, but that's okay because, you know, this one sticks off so much further anyway, so whatever, it is what it is. So, all right, I have to go grab my screwdriver, so I'm going to pause you for a quick second and get that. We'll be in business. All right, we are back, and we have the screwdriver. So we are, we have the power. So let's see, let's get right on this. Let's take our first one, and let's put this wire over here for now, and let's get the first card on here. So I'm going to just put the wires back here for now while we set this up, and let's get contestant number 1. Welcome. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the riser, we're going to open the lock. There's a little sliding lock here. We're going to open it. You can clearly see that the riser has a space in there, and you can see on the card there's a space. So it really only goes in one way. And a lot of computer parts are like that. A lot of people are afraid of computers, and I'm sure a lot of computer techs are like saying, shut up, don't say that. But the truth is that most computer parts, when you plug them in, they only go one way. Like for instance, you would say, well, which way does this cable go into this? Well, if you look on this fixture on the card where the power goes, there's a little nub on one side, and that's where the clip on this side clips into. So if you tried to do it the other way, it wouldn't really fit. And then when you put that on, it locks right in. Same thing with this, you know, it locks right in. Then also, once I put this in here, I slide that little piece, and that locks it in so it won't come out or shake loose for any reason. I've already got the power hooked up here, got the USB set up there. So we're going to move this guy down to the end. Right now, while I only have 4 cards, let me see if I could turn this up a little bit so you can see everybody. There you go. So while I have just 4 cards, I am going to space them out for airflow. But in the end, I'm going to need 5 cards. So let's get that one, and let's go ahead and, as you can see, I moved things around a little bit. I got the camera up a little higher. I don't know if it's any better, or maybe I made it worse. I took the bag of M&Ms over here, and it's holding one of the legs of the camera so it doesn't tilt over as like a sandbag to hold. Guys, I'm doing my best here, all right? Work with me on this. Work with me. So we're just going to go ahead and screw this down. This rig is new, so I got to kind of get the screws to go. So I just tighten it, the screw on it, and you'll see when I come down here closer. I just tighten it so it spins, so it just, you know, I don't hold it and drive it down in hard. I just, you know, get it screwed down, decent, but not the death grip or anything on that. So let's take this riser and contestant number 2, and let's put these wires back here. And of course the microphone's right there too, so all this banging around probably sounds great. So again, we're going to put this card, only fits in one way, and snaps right in. And then again, the little lock is this little piece of plastic here. And you just pull it with your finger, you know, whatever. So we're going to put that guy. So let's see. So we're going to go here, here, here. So I guess if I put one on the end, that means the other 2 could be here and here. So let's go ahead and I guess, put this one right here. So we'll grab a screw, and we will, let's see where that one is. So again, just so the screwdriver spins a little bit, I'm not going to bash it down. Of course, you want it firm enough that it's not going to come loose. The fan will be spinning, so it may shake the card a little bit, so you don't want it to come loose. Now, this is one of the wires. It's the 6+2, so it came apart, and it just slides back in. It just slides. There's little notches on it. It just slides back together. No big deal. And again, there's only one way this really will work on this, and you can hear it clip in. Everything. All right, this seems a little loose, actually. Like I said, these are the metal is never, been screwed down. Now, my other rig with the 6 card, I've taken them on and off so many times that the different holes have been, maybe widened a little bit by this screws going. So let's keep moving. Contestant number 3. Welcome. All right, out you go. So again, clips right in. We're going to flip it over. We're going to hit the little lock on it. Make sure that's on. We're going to take the wire in a second here. Let's see. So if I'm here, I think I'm going to go here on this one. So I'm going to grab a screw. I'm just going to kind of hold the card up just a little bit. All right. And then we'll plug the power in. When we hear it click in, we know it's good. Now listen, after we've plugged everything in and we're double checking it while we're putting it in, when we're all done, we're going to go back and we're going to check every single connection. If you don't have a tight connection and the electricity arcs, you could easily blow out any single piece and it could cascade. Who knows? Please double check as you're putting them in. I've been looking real close at them as I'm putting them in. Then when you're all done, go back and do it again. So, and our final contestant of the day. Let's get him hooked up. And again, that only goes in one way. And then we'll take our little piece of plastic here, and we're just going to slide it up. If you got fat fingers like me sometimes, I grab a little and give it a little help. So let's go ahead and drop this guy here. And he is going to go on the very end. Grab a screw. And this one goes in a lot nicer. All right, that is in. Let's grab our power. Just bring it on that side. Now, like I talked about in my other video, I know there's a lot of wires back here now, right? So I get it. There's a lot of wires. Make sure that's in snug all around. I get it. There's going to be more wires in here than your typical ATX power supply. But again, with a little simple cable management, and again, if I didn't, if I do it right, I mean, if I don't have, blue and yellow and black, and if I had all one color, I could really make this look pretty tight. But I haven't gone and gotten all that yet. That's just to pretty it up, and I will pretty it up right now. I want to get this thing on and mining Ravencoin. So, all right. So we got all that hooked up. Now, where are we at? We've got the power supply and all that, and that is going to happen on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to swing this thing around. So let's do that. This should be fun. on the motherboard on the other side, you probably saw those wires. That's 2 wires. One's for the hard drive, one's for a CD-ROM, and then of course the power cable over here. If you can see it, when I flip around, I'll show it again. That's just to turn it on and off. So, but all right, so we've got that done. So now let's look at some cables. So I'm just going to pull them apart so they're separate from each other. That's 1, that's 2, that guy number 3, and here is number 4 way over here. So let's go ahead and feed this USB cable through, and we will call him number 1. Okay, number 1. Let's see here. We got USB number 2, and you. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the primary, with the full PCIe card slot here, and I'm going to go with the full one on the first card, and I'm going to go down the line from there. Why? I don't know. I guess I haven't looked into it enough. If I have something in the first one, but it's a mini slot, will that count as 0, and then the full slot count as 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and so on? Or does the full slot count as 0, and then go back to 1, and then cross over to 2, 3, 4, and so on? So I guess I haven't really tested that. I'm going to test that one time, and I'm going to see, because that's what I love about this. It's the curiosity of things that, how does this work, and that's really it. I really get a kick out of just. My wife says that too. She says, what do you? She goes, everything's working, right? I said, yep. She goes, well, why are you messing with it? I said, because that's, I'm learning. I'm learning from all this stuff. How are you learning, right? What are you guys doing? Wait, you're over there now. How are you guys doing it? I don't know. All right, so let's see. I'm going to pull this way, and here's the board. So let me slide it out so we can see a little better. All right, so here's my power. So I've got them split going to the riser and to the GPU. Then I've got my 6-pin on this side. So what I'm going to do is I am going to have the motherboard on this one. So I'm not going to... Uh-oh, hold on. Come on in, honey. Hey, y'all, sorry about that. My wife came in, went to talk for a quick minute, so here we are back again, and we were talking wires. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these wires here. We've got 6-pin, and on the ends of these, and if you see that little clip on the end right there, that's where it snaps in. Same idea on the GPU when it clicked into that one. If you look at these on the breakout board, on one side they have a little extra nub of plastic. That's so that clip can snap into it. So let's go ahead and snap into it. So it doesn't matter where you put it on this. I've got a preference. If I don't have to put extra on the same bank, I move along. So since I am going to put 2 on this one, I'm going to just put it on the opposite, and we will click that down there. Okay, so all right, so that's in there tight. So we've got both of those hooked up. Again, here's that wire that daisy chains them together. So we're going to go to this GPU down here, and on this breakout board it has 4 rows. This one has 3 rows. And of course it's meant to take the power for plugging into multiple ones, but why put the stress on any one bank? Why not spread out the load? Does that matter? I wonder. I should probably email that to Parallel Miner. They're probably tired of me emailing them all the time. So let's go ahead and get this one plugged into this breakout board. We're just going to put it in that one. And then I have the very last one, and we're going to go ahead and drop it on this one. Okay, and again, you hear the clicking. Now I move these power supplies around, and to make sure that I didn't jog this this connection between the breakout board and the HP power supply, I'm just going to push them back together one time just to make sure, yep, they're fine. I didn't think they moved, but you know what? I would hate for those to be, if that slides in, for it to be out just a little bit. And if that's sticking out, it's not doing the right power. It could be arcing and it could burn it out, burn the board. Maybe it sends a shock of power through here, which then translates into a shock of power in here. And we don't like that. So, all right, so the back is hooked up. Wires are good. Since we're back here, let's just double check everybody now. Everything looks good. We know we're in here, 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 and here. I can see that they are flush with the pieces. My USB is connected nice. I know that all of these are in good. Y'all, it looks pretty good so far. Let's see. Let's go ahead and flip this back around. I think that's it for back here. Am I missing something? What did I miss? I know I have the other power that I have to do on the board, but we're going to flip it around because that's where the power is. No, actually, that's that's where the power is. That's why we flipped it also, because we're going to do this wire. So, again, you have this end has the two pieces. It has the ATX, and then it has the double 4-pin, and on this side is just the solid. So this one is going to go into our breakout board, and this is the one that Parallel Miner specially makes themselves, and it just goes in like that. I'm going to pick this up because that's a big wire to get in there. All right, and that is in there pretty snug. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this off actually from there, and I'm going to reseat that. I didn't like the way that went in, so I'm just reseating that. Now I can see it's totally flush with the actual plastic connector on the board and the black plastic from the cord, and there's no gap in there. Before there was just a touch of the gap, so I know that's in there proper now, so I can go ahead and reconnect this like that, and then just slide all this up. There we go. That's good. All right. So now we've got the other side, and we're going to pull this over a little bit, and we're going to sneak this wire back over here. Actually, I'm going to go underneath this USB. Gets a little tight, I will say that. Hooking all this up like that, probably could have done this first, then connected this middle bar, then put the GPUs on, but I am just so excited. I'm just going here, guys. I'm going with it. So let's see, let's get that. Okay, that is in there snug. Now I'm looking for my secondary power supply. So that one, we're going to tuck that under, and that one goes on the board here is where the other is. And again, there's a clip on here, and if you look at the plastic on the motherboard where the connector is, there's a little piece of plastic sticks out, and that's where it will connect. So let's flip that around. And that has double clips, and they both clipped in. And if I check that, that looks very secure as well. So power's hooked up there, power's hooked up there. Let's get that USB to free up a little bit, make sure that didn't pull it out. Once we flip these around, we will check the front connections too. Okay, now I think we're going to have to do our power for the motherboard. So it has two Molex connections for it, and again, they should be rated for high power because of the gauge. But the problem, like I was saying earlier, is the little metal pieces in there. You don't know what those are rated at, and that's your problem. So we're going to need two of these. Now I've got two GPUs and the motherboard plugged into this one, so I'm going to plug these over here. You know, again, even though they're not going to be pulling that much power, you know. Now I do have one on this side of the board, and then there's one just over into the middle. So let's go ahead and feed this through. We'll just kind of wrap that over there for now. And then the second one, that one is going to go right here. Okay, and that one is in nice and snug as well. And we're going to pull this one the same way. I don't want to twist up too many wires all mangled together. And we're just going to tuck that underneath there. Oops. And we'll leave that like that. Okay, so I got all these wires, and I know they're all sticking out of the back. And, you know, there is some room to, you know, really tighten this up and go across here like that, you know, and really make this nice and tight across. I could put a little tie around here, and my cable problem is gone. You know, I could put this in here with it as well and get that one in there. Take these two and pull them across the same way, and then just you know, a couple little, like I said, little ties on there. And then this will be pretty much cleaned up in the back, you know. Now, of course, like I said, if I want to get all the same color, let's say I found all black or something like that, you know, or a certain color, you know, or actually they have the black and white cords like this, like these. I have these in black and white, but I don't have the splitters that go up to the GPU. I don't have those parts in black and white. So that would be something cool to do, is find the black and white ones here. I have black and yellow. So anyway, you know, that's just to pretty it up, right? Come on. Let's get this thing spun around again. Sorry if I'm banging all this. The microphone again is right there. All right, let's see. What do we got going on? Where are we? Secondary power. Where are you? Or third power, where are you? And then fourth power, you're over there. I'm gonna go that way for you. Like that. And again, I'll show you the other one because I already have this one fed through, but the connection on the board is shaped in a certain way. Let me show you this connection here. So if you look at this, I don't know if you can see how it's, I think the lighting sucks. It's too bright right there. But if you could see it, this has got a shape to it. It's flat on this side, and then it curves and curves, and the top is just a little more narrow than the bottom, but it curves only on this side and this side. It doesn't curve around underneath. It's flat on that side. So if I look at the board, on one side it's flat, and then it curves on the top. And so obviously the flat side goes down and the curved side goes up, or whichever way it is for you. So I'm going to slide that back a little bit so I can get in here a little easier. Take a look. All right, looks like the flat side is up on this. So I'm going to go flat side up. And get that wire. There we go. Okay, push that in real good. Make sure the wires are in. You know, these are just little metal connections inside of these wires. So if you pull them out from using the wire to pull them out, you're going to loosen that up, and that's going to be a problem. As a matter of fact, one of them was just a little loose, so I had to push it back in and then reconnect it. So be careful with that. You know, be thoughtful when you move those around. So let's bring this power supply back up. Put that like that. So I like the breakout boards to be sitting, can you see them? I don't know if you can see them. I like the breakout boards to be flush with the back. As a matter of fact, I'd rather have the excess coming off the front, because the feet on the HP power supply are lined up with the little feet they put on the breakout boards. So I want that to be level I don't want this to be hanging off the back, because then that'll leave it to, hang, and that could be bending the metal even so slightly. It does take its toll. So I prefer to move these up and do that. Now I will get a zip tie or some sort of wrap to hold these to this frame. I'm not sure exactly how or where I'm going to do it yet, but I may have to take this whole thing apart and drill a hole like right here in the metal. And this one's already got a little slot, but I still may drill another hole on this side, and then that way I could fit some sort of strap, just a little Velcro, something, just something real narrow, no thicker than your finger, kind of a thing, whatever. All right, anyway, enough Velcro talk. Let's get over here. So again, these two are for the hard drive and the CD-ROM, and this one over here just connects to the motherboard, and that's got the power button. But we're not going to really probably need that, because I think with the ATX connection on these, this power wire is inconsequential, because you push power on the boards. So yeah, I don't even think I need this. I got it on my other one too, and I don't think I ever use it. So I don't turn that one on and off that much, so I don't recognize if I do that. Anyway, guys, we are there. Next is going to be a hard drive. So you need a hard drive of some sort. Let's see if you can see this. Is it so bright in here, or is that just like the exposure? Got 120 gig. Going to take this one. Now, this is going to be the one challenge that I have, and that is that my wire for this breakout board, I burnt it out. I burnt it out because I plugged the wrong thing into it. So here's where my problem is coming in. How do I get power to this? And I learned the hard way yesterday, wherever it went, and I burnt out a hard drive. I thought you could plug it in with the Molex connection, yes, and go into the breakout board. But apparently, like I was saying before, that the breakout board puts out too much power when you plug into the 6-pin. So what I had done was I had this extension, and it's got a Molex on one side that you could plug in. So you could plug these two together, and then when you plug them together, then you have all of your SATA connections, and I could plug my hard drive in. And I thought I was like, well, that makes sense. That doesn't work, okay? Don't do that. This is only for secondary power supply on the motherboard. There is another wire that you'll get with the kit that I burnt out, and it will go into the breakout board. There's one Molex slot on it, and same thing on this side. And what comes off of it are connections on the end. It has one of each. So you can then connect a ribbon to it or do whatever you want to do to extend it. But without that one, I'm kind of in a spot. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my regular ATX power supply, I'm going to connect it into here, because right now, I've got this connection. Where'd it go? Jeez, where did I put it? God. Always when I'm looking for something. All right, I'm going to try something. Let's pause this real quick. But guys, this is it. This is the rig. This is done. I'm missing that one wire, but I'm gonna get this thing up and running, because I am just too excited not to turn this on. So, and I'm going to show you some overclocking maybe. Maybe we'll do another video on that one, because this one's getting kind of long. But yeah, let me pause this and let's just try that other really quick. Hold on one second. All right, I'm back. So I've got this. I've got this connection that you can use, and you can put a hard drive on here. As you can see, the connections line up. And the idea is that you could take a hard drive and put this on here and then plug this into the USB. I wonder if you can run Windows, or if it would run smooth enough to do that. I might try that, because if this was to work, then I wouldn't need to hook that other power supply up. So I'm going to move this over to the shelf over there, and I'm going to show you what I got going over there. So give me a quick second, and I'm going to move this over there, and we're just going to fire it up real quick and see what happens. So hold on. All right, y'all, we're back, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to hook this this drive up, and we're just going to put it into the USB, and see what that does. And we'll tuck it in somewhere. And this is just going to have to be like that. All right, we're going to make sure all of our connections, once again, just double checking, triple checking. Everything is seated, connected. I'm not going to need those right there. All right, so let's talk about the power now that we're going to be dealing with. And let me just get these tucked back here, because that will bother me if I don't. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the power and what I have, and you can't see it down here, but this is where I had my electrician come, and I had him put a 30 amp outlet here in the wall. We've got two 20 amp outlets downstairs in Crazy Town, and we just installed two more 30 amp outlets. So with those 30 amp outlets downstairs, we ran one wire upstairs, and we got it plugged in right back here. So that is super cool. We've got that set, so we can plug in. I mean that 30 amp is total overkill. Yeah, I get it for up here, but I have the grow tent build that I'm doing, and that's coming up soon. You can see probably the grow tent back there, right there. That's that gigantic one I've got lying flat rather than vertical. So we're gonna do a video on that next, because that's where this thing is eventually gonna live. This is gonna be going in the grow tent and then having it vent out the window that's over here. That's why we moved the whole room around. So anyway, what I have down here is I've got my PDU that I had custom built just for myself. And let's see if you can see that. I don't know if I got a good angle on that. There you go. I had this one built. This is a metered PDU with the network support. I've got the plugs. I went with 6 of the C13 and 4 of the C19. As you can see here, the C19, and I have 4 of those. I figured for any application, I would probably only have 2 large miners on here, and they would use C19. So I only have 4 because that's all I would ever really probably have here. And if I had anything else that might be small, if I wanted to squeeze it on here, I'd probably put them on the C13 anyway. So overall, it's nice, it's compact, it's better than those big 6-foot ones. And I had this one custom built for me. I picked the design, I picked how many outlets, and I had, like I said, the meter. So as a thank you to my electrician, I had 2 extra made for him. I had a total of 4 made up, and I gave him 2 because he's getting into a little ASIC mining himself. After all the stuff that I've been doing, he's he's gotten excited. So let's put this back down here. So that is what plugs into the wall, and that's the 30 amp with the twist lock outlet. So I have my plugs, and we're going to go ahead and drop these in. Okay, and then from there I could go ahead and plug these into here. Now these PDUs can take the 110 or 220, so or 240, and as a matter of fact, if you buy the 1200 watt power supply, it only works, I think, up to 800 or 900 watts when you plug it into a regular outlet, like in a bedroom or in a living room or somewhere. But when you plug it into a higher voltage outlet, it will then go to the 1200 watts. So when people buy them, they think, oh, I'm buying 1200 watts. It's really not 1200 watts until you plug it into an outlet like this one. So when I get those 1200 watt ones, they will actually function the way they're meant to. So we'll plug that one in, and we will plug this one in. Now you can't see it, but behind there, both of the breakout boards light up a little bit. So I've got them. Then we're going to go ahead and take the connection. So let's see. Who's calling me? Nobody. They're going to call them back. All right, everything's in. So let's go ahead and put this. Is that too wide? You know what? I'm going to move that over real quick because this is too far over for me to comfortably plug this video card in. And I won't be happy with that because it'll be very, very snug. So I'm just going to move it over just a touch to the very next hole, and I'm going to grab it on that one instead. And then that way it'll all right, now I should have enough room. Yeah, and that goes in a lot better. Sorry for the microphone's way over here, and I'm way over here. So sorry for that. Try and move it over a little bit more. Let's see. So we're all locked in. I got the turned on. We turn my monitor on down here. Everything looks good. So all I have to do, because they're daisy chained together, y'all, is push the button. Right? How's it work? Push the button, Max. That one's for you, Kat. All right. Now, I've already installed Windows. I'm going to be doing this in Windows for my... so we're going to see if this kicks in. But give me a quick minute, and I'll be back up here, and we'll see where we're at. Hold on. All right, y'all, we're back. And what we got going on is we have the miner all powered on, and I did have to swap the cables and put in the other power supply because it didn't work any other way to get that hard drive on there. Now, there are Simple Miner and there's Hive OS, and I did have Hive OS on a USB, but it was giving some errors. And I just got into using Hive, so I don't know all of the errors and how to fix them. So my other rig does run it, but it's using a different version, and I haven't updated it yet. Now the new version for Hive OS is this one, so it is a little different for me, so I haven't learned it yet. So we're going with Windows, and we're going to get this working. So I wasn't able to get the monitor hooked up over here, so unfortunately all I have is the webcam, and I'm going to flip that over real quick and get you over there. So here we are. So I have in here I have NBminer. Sorry about the display. Once I close this window, it'll go away. But we're going to be using Ravencoin, so we're going to edit this. And in here, I am using 2 miners for my pool. I have my wallet dot the name of the rig, which is million dash log space. I'm sorry, so it's .million space dash log space dash LHR space 68. Now this can get unlocked up to 70, but from what I've been reading, 68 and watching also, Son of a Tech did a video on this as well. 68 was a base number that he felt comfortable starting with, so that's where I'm going to start. Later on, I can fine tune this a little bit more, maybe try this at the 70 and see what it does, but let's go ahead and start with this. And we're going to close this, and we are going to start up our Afterburner. Let's get that going. Here it is. And we are going to start Ravencoin. So let's let that run. There are the cards. 1 through 4. Everybody looks pretty good so far. Let's let this just power up for a second. It's going to take a second to get to speed. Usually runs through 2 cycles, and it'll be where it needs to be, or at least where we'll be able to get a baseline. All right, so we're at 24 across the board. Let's look at this for a second. Let this run through one more time, and once it's accepting some shares, and again, I'm sorry, you probably can't see this that well. Let me see if that gives you a little bit better. It's still a little blurry. I'm sorry, guys. This is it. So we're still around 24. Let's see it start accepting some jobs here, and then we'll start with the Afterburner. Let it run one more round. Should pop one. Almost. All right, there we go. So 24 seems to be the number. All right, fair enough. So let's go ahead and start working with this. Now, right off the bat, all right, I hear you, computer. My other computer's yelling at me. So over here, what I've done is I've gone ahead and I set up the fan here. So because right now I'm running at 70, 72, you know. So I want to crank this fan up. I have mine set. So I'll just bring that over a little bit. So I start at 40 and I work my way up. And we'll just go there to start with. I want it to be nice and cool. It's easier to replace a fan than it is to replace the GPU when it burns out, because it's overheating all the time or running super hot all the time. So that's your choice. I'm not afraid to run them at 100% all the time if I have to, you know, for any of my cards. I'd much rather do that and use a little bit more power but save the processor or the GPU. So anyway, let's go ahead and pull this back a little bit. All right, so we have Afterburner. So what we're going to start with is we're going to come over here and we're going to say 75. Now I have this set up so it is applying to all the cards at once. And over here I'm going to start at 400 and we will go there. So let's watch that run. So 24.5-ish seems to be the number. Just gotta wait for this thing to run through again and see what the new numbers come up at. Now I am not great at Afterburner, and there is GPUs also that I have installed. So you know I'm going to work with that as well. Okay, so there we go. So geez, we're almost at 26, and we were at 24.5, and we are just creeping up to 26. So you know. 1.5 on each card. That's another 6 mega hash. So that's nice. I think we could probably squeeze a little bit more here. Let's see. So 100% power. I'm going to drop that down to 75. And I'm going to raise that. Well, you know what? Let's just leave it at the 400 and let's just apply that power setting. I can hear the fans slowing down a little bit. Temperatures will probably drop. You can see the temperatures over here, 68, 65, 65, and 64. So yeah, that's dropped them down about 4 degrees on each card. And if you look at our power, we were almost at 200 watts per card. We're at 150 now. So we just saved 200 watts. Now, I don't know what 200 watts is for you, but 200 watts for me is about, I don't know what, $11 or $12. Let's say $12 for rounding it up. $12. So that's $12 that's saving me a month. You know, and that's the name of the game, is lowering the power, raising the hash rate, saving some money, in order to make a little more money. Sometimes cranking these cards up all the way to 200 or 200 plus watts each, yeah, the hash rate goes up, but it's using more power. So even though I'm getting an extra, say, $10 a month in Ravencoin because I raised the power, I'm paying $12 a month for the power. So I'm losing $2. So that doesn't work out. And when you're talking about, a dollar here, a dollar there, when you add them all together, it adds up. So that is that. So let's look a little bit more here. So let's look at so we were at 26-ish. Now we're running 25, 26-ish still. We were running low 26, and we are running low 26 right now. So we're actually still doing okay. What's our total? Our total is 101.9. Let's go ahead and move that clock up to 450. And let's raise our core to 85. And let's try that one. Let's see if we can get up to 105 mega hash. I think 106 mega hash. I'd be happy if I can hit 105, 104, 106 in there. So let's let this run again. Now, if I had GPUs up and I could look at each card individually and understood how to use it better, I could fine tune these cards individually and squeeze out as much as humanly possible. And that's what, I don't want to say that's what the real miners do, but I'll tell you, that's what the real miners do. They squeeze that extra power out and get those down to the pennies, not just the quarters and dollars like I'm doing. They go down to pennies and nickels. So, and again, that's the name of the game when you have a lot of these running. So let's just let that run through one more cycle to verify 25 and 26. All right, I'm still 25 and 26. Let's go to 500 here. Let's let that run. Like I said, I would love to get up to 104. If I had 104, I'd be happy. 105 would be great. 106 would be, best imaginable for myself, I think there. So it's like 101. Let's jump that up to 100 from 75. If this doesn't work, I might actually lower that. Let's see what this goes to. Yeah, it doesn't really do any good. So you know what? I'm gonna leave that at 75. I'm going to go down to 50. So these are let's let that run through another cycle. One more time, guys, and then we're going to, I think, be wrapping it up here. Let's let that run one more through. And I'm going to have to mess around with these. I'm going to do some more research on these cards. This is what I'd come up with to begin with. At the 75 and, 400 seemed to be a good number out of all of them. So let's see, 26. So that's up a little bit. That's down a little bit. Down. Yeah, it's at 100. If I can get one more out of each card, I'd be happy. Now that one card, that one's running at 23. So again, that's where that fine tuning comes in. I'm looking for that 2 extra, I'm looking for 1 on each, but not really. I'm looking for 2 extra here. And then I'd love to get, 1 more out of in here. If I got a half on each of these, that's at 26, you see. So that's how it works. Now I'm using the Hynix memory on all of these cards. They are all identical. And the last card that I bought is also identical. It's the same model number and for the Hynix memory as well. So I'm going to let this run and see if it levels itself out at all. Looks like it's kind of landing right around here. I'm going to go back up to 75 and I'm going to try, did I do 6? I know if I give it a little more power, that will definitely help it. Maybe I will, let's see what's my power at 149. Let's let that run really quick. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more here. Let's see. So that really didn't do much. So let's go back to where I started from. And let's let that cycle through one time. And then I'm going to do the power. And then I'm going to end the video, I promise. I just know that a lot of times when people do overclocking, their videos, they cut in and out. Everything isn't shown. And I just want to show you everything that I'm doing. So I have, again, the EVGA 3060 Ti. I have the XC edition. As you saw, I'll pull one of the boxes up and show you again. So looks like we're not moving. Okay, so we're right there. So let's do the power. And let's go to 85. Now we're probably going to hear our fans kick in a little bit more. Now if you look at my temperatures, you know, 62, 59, 59. So I'm right around 60 degrees. I'm sorry, 60 Celsius. and that's a happy temperature. I could live with that. 60s are just fine. Now you can see down here, it did jump up. It did jump up to 63 from 62, and it went to 60 across the board where it was at 59. So let's let that run through another cycle and see if looks like our mega hash jumped up a little bit. Yep, so we're at 61 degrees for our cards and 64 for that one other one. I feel like I'm announcing a horse race here, you know. And here comes power. And look at that, y'all. 104.4. There it is. And instead of being 200 watts, I'm running at about 170 right now. So I am saving 30, 60, 120. So again, I am saving money. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to hop online and check out through like What's Miner. As a matter of fact, I'm going to hop away from here. I'm going to show you my settings one more time. There you go. I've got 85 for my power. This temperature will change when you change your power. Mine's at 78, but it changes dynamically when you change this one. I have plus 75 and plus 400. I can fiddle with these now that I've raised power. Maybe I can raise these up and I will squeeze a little more. Let's do that. God, I can't get away from this. You guys are all like, all right, end it already, E. Let's do it. All right, one more time, one more time. Come on. Now I sound like a degenerate gambler. Come on, baby. One more time. So we are at 104.4, 104.5, 104.6, 104.7. So it did go up a little bit. We're creeping up to that 105. All right, so we'll mess around with this a little later. I'm going to go ahead and hop over to the other camera, and you're going to see yours truly. And what I'm going to do is actually go back here and change cameras. Let's go. Sorry, guys. Here we go. So let's bring up the internet and go to what to mine. And here, GPU, Kapow. Let's see, 105 is good. Let's see, my watts, I'd have to look directly on the wall, but I'm going to say with what I'm looking at, let's say 700. I put this in earlier just to mess with it. So there's our $10.03 a day profit. Costs us $11.71 to run. Now let's jump that up. So that would have been another 200 watts. So let's go with 900. And I was probably going to get about the same, you know, even if I went up to 110, let's say 110. I was at 1002, now I'm at 1011. So, you know, that's 9 cents a day. So that's, what is that, 90 cents every 10, 20 is $2.70 more a month if I crank this up. Is the life of the GPU worth $2.70 a month? I would rather have it running lower and more efficient than making an extra $2.70 a month, okay? So you think about that. That's going to be up to you to decide, and for me as well. And I'm going to mess with these, and I'm going to do an update with this and probably let it run for about a week or so and do another video. But when I come back, I will have tried many different configurations for this, and I'm back, and we will see. So there you go, guys. There's the numbers. That's what I got, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a long one again, but this is it. This is the $1 million challenge. I am going to challenge myself to do this, and the trick is not to take the money out and to leave it in there. So can't cash out of this wallet like I do my other ones sometimes, because I can't support all of my mining habits on just my regular income. I have to pull money out of these accounts from time to time, but that's what my other rig is for. So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful for the people that watch. I'm grateful for this chance, and I am excited, to say the least. So I'm begging you, drop me a comment down below, give me a thumbs up, tell me I'm doing the right thing. Tell me if you're going to try this also, because you know what? I challenge you. I challenge you to give this a shot and see where you end up also. I'd love to hear your story in a year and 3 months, and maybe all of us will get together and celebrate our newfound earnings. Take it easy, y'all, and I'll see you next time.